Val Kilmer's passing on April 1st, 2025, sent a wave of sorrow through Hollywood. The man who immortalized characters like Iceman in Top Gun, Jim Morrison in The Doors, and Doc Holliday in Tombstone was gone at 65. The cause? Complications from pneumonia. But as fans and celebrities paid tribute, one pressing question lingered. What really happened in Kilmer's final years? Kilmer had long been a beloved yet enigmatic figure in the industry. Born in Los Angeles in 1959, his artistic talent emerged early. He was the youngest student ever accepted to Juilliard's prestigious drama program, a sign of things to come. He made his film debut in 1984's Top Secret, but it was his 1986 performance as Iceman in Top Gun that catapulted him into superstardom. More iconic roles quickly followed. His eerie transformation into rock legend Jim Morrison in The Doors earned critical acclaim. His unforgettable portrayal of Doc Holliday in Tombstone remains one of the most quoted performances in modern cinema. And who could forget when he donned the cape and cowl in Batman Forever? Despite his success, whispers of tension followed him on set. Kilmer developed a reputation for being difficult, demanding, even volatile at times. Director Joel Schumacher famously called him psychotic, citing erratic behavior during their Batman collaboration. But others saw a passionate artist deeply committed to his craft, perhaps too committed for Hollywood's taste. As the 2000s unfolded, Kilmer's career began to slow, and concern about his health began to surface. By 2014, fans noticed subtle but alarming changes: weight loss, slurred speech, canceled appearances. Still, Kilmer denied anything was wrong. Then in 2017, the truth came out. Kilmer revealed he had been battling throat cancer. He had undergone radiation, chemotherapy, and a tracheotomy, which left him with permanent damage to his voice. The charismatic, booming voice that once filled theaters had been reduced to a faint rasp. It was a moment of truth that stunned his fans and peers alike. But true to form, Kilmer didn't retreat quietly. He remained active creatively, painting, writing, and even publishing a memoir titled I'm Your Huckleberry. He still made occasional public appearances, though they were increasingly rare and brief. Many thought his battle with cancer was behind him. The release of Top Gun, Maverick in 2022 seemed to confirm it. In Maverick, Kilmer's Iceman made a brief but emotionally charged return. The scene shared with Tom Cruise felt like a heartfelt farewell. It was carefully constructed using cutting-edge AI and voice cloning technology to digitally recreate his speech. It wasn't just a moment in the movie, it was a tribute, a love letter to the character and the man behind him. Yet behind that touching scene was a reality far more grim. Kilmer was deeply unwell during filming. His health was fragile, and his presence on set was limited. Every scene took tremendous effort. Privately, he was withdrawing from the world. He declined phone calls, avoided visitors, and kept a tight circle around him. Friends and even family members noted he was becoming harder to reach, less responsive, more reclusive. In the months leading up to his death, Kilmer reportedly spent most of his time at home, surrounded only by close loved ones. He focused on painting, journaling, and staying out of the public eye. To the world, he was a silent warrior, gracefully battling illness. But within those walls, the silence masked a far deeper emotional struggle. When Kilmer passed away from pneumonia, Hollywood mourned a legend. Directors, actors, and fans shared memories of his brilliance. Michael Mann and Josh Brolin were among many who paid tribute, hailing him as a rare talent who left an enduring legacy. But behind the accolades, stories began to emerge. Stories of pain, isolation, and missed signs. Friends revealed how Kilmer had increasingly refused help in his final years. He turned down offers from those who wanted to visit or support him. There were whispers of private hospitalizations that never made the news. The man who once dominated the screen was quietly fading, and few realized just how serious it had become. Then came the autopsy. The official cause was complications from pneumonia, but that was only part of the picture. The report hinted at deeper issues: physical exhaustion, emotional fatigue, and a body weakened by years of illness. Those close to him began to admit they hadn't truly understood the extent of his suffering. Kilmer had kept his pain carefully hidden, masking vulnerability with stoic silence. His battle wasn't just against cancer, it was a war waged on multiple fronts, against loneliness, fear, and the deep emotional exhaustion that comes from decades of inner conflict. Val Kilmer, despite his fame, was always something of a mystery. At heart, he was a deeply private man, someone who cherished solitude, introspection, and spiritual reflection. But in fiercely guarding his personal space, he may have unknowingly built walls that kept out those who genuinely wanted to help, love, or simply stand beside him. It's easy to remember Val as the larger-than-life icons he brought to the screen. The icy confidence of Iceman, the haunted brilliance of Jim Morrison, the lethal charm of Doc Holliday. These performances weren't just roles, they were cultural landmarks. They cemented his status as a Hollywood heavyweight. But the man behind those iconic characters was far more layered. He was sensitive to the world around him, deeply spiritual in his beliefs, and often introspective to the point of isolation. He wrestled with the contradictions of fame, how to stay true to his artistic soul while living under the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. In his final years, Kilmer found solace not in the spotlight, but in simplicity. He painted, he wrote, he spent quiet time with family. He was no longer chasing fame, he was making peace with himself. Kilmer's life in many ways was a story of contrast, brilliance and struggle, acclaim and isolation, triumph and tragedy. He was an artist who poured everything into his roles, sometimes at great personal cost. And in the end, he left the world as he often lived, on his own terms. His death marks the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. His performances will continue to inspire generations. His story serves as a reminder of the hidden battles that even the brightest stars face behind closed doors. Val Kilmer was more than just a Hollywood icon. He was a man of depth, mystery, and resilience. A brilliant performer who brought unforgettable characters to life, all while fighting battles most of us never saw. His story reminds us that behind every spotlight is a person with struggles, silence, and strength we may never fully understand. As fans, we honor his legacy not just by rewatching his films, but by recognizing the humanity behind the fame. Val gave us everything he had, on screen and off, and in return, all he ever wanted was to create something meaningful. Let's keep his memory alive. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth stories like this, and share it with others who love Val Kilmer just as much as you did. Thanks for watching and for remembering.